Okay, I think we are live. Should be good to go, hopefully. If you guys can give me a quick audio check just to make sure that everything is coming through, that would be amazing. We're going to start just a couple of minutes early. I like to do that when I can, just so we can do the audio check and kind of get some of that out of the way. It looks like we've got Vaz here. Says sound and video is 100%. So thank you very much for that. Super appreciate it. Let's see. Jason here says, "Hey DB, sound and audio are good, outstanding. Thank you guys so much." Glenn's in West Virginia. Holy cow, that's a long ways from where you normally are over here on the westerly side of the country. So holy cow, that's quite the journey you've made. Got some new tea. I think it's called Real Tea. I don't know if you've had it. It's really good. And there's like 0 sugar in it. They use stevia and monk fruit for the sweetening. It's actually really good. 0 calories, 0 sugar. It's awesome. So yeah, I'm trying to think. Anything happened this week? I got, let's see. I think I had the new car last week when we did our live stream. So that's nothing new. I got to get some work done on it. That sucks. I'm not looking forward to spending that money on a new to me car anyway, but it is what it is. So we're going to have to take care of that hopefully in the next week or two. Hopefully we'll get that sorted and it won't be a big deal moving forward. What else? Got a new video out in the last couple of days about a different operating system whose name has escaped me. I'm GeakOS. That's what it's called. You said monk fruit. Never heard of that before. Yeah, it's a sweetener. It's a sugar alternative. Yeah. So here we'll just take a quick look here. It's a small, round, subtropical melon native to southern China that's been used for centuries for Eastern medicine, which is whatever. Its extract is a popular 0-calorie natural sweetener that is up to 250 times sweeter than sugar, which so is stevia. That's why it's used in much smaller amounts than typical sugar would be. So is that the one that swaps between sweet and bitter? It can. It can if you're susceptible. Some people don't have any problem with it. I sometimes get kind of a gross taste in my mouth afterwards. It's not as bad as some of the other like not natural sweeteners, but I don't have as much of a problem with it as I do with some of the other stuff that's out there. But again, 0 calorie, 0 sugar, and it's a great sugar alternative for sweetening foods and drinks and that sort of thing. So yeah, I was really happy to find these, and I'm a big fan. This is peach flavored. So yeah, good stuff. If you haven't tried Real, they're not sponsoring me, but if you haven't tried Real Tea, RYL, you should, because it's really good. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if you had a chance to check out the GeakOS video that I released. I guess it was yesterday. I thought it was Thursday, but it was yesterday. If you haven't, it'd be cool if you checked that out. Today we're going to check out something called GeakOS, and I know that it looks like I spelled it wrong, but I didn't. They spell it GEAK for some reason, so that's what we're running with. We've got a couple of different ways that we can install it. Though one of them I'm not a big fan of. So we're gonna go the command line route with this. Should be fairly straightforward. But we're going into this one completely blind as well. Let me close some stuff out over here real quick. So this is their website. So basically, GeakOS, intelligent storage simplified by AI. Experience the freedom of true data ownership, it says. GeakOS is the intelligent NAS OS that puts your entire digital life at your fingertips. Access, manage, and share your files from any device, your computer, phone, or tablet. With our intuitive mobile and desktop apps, your memories and work are no longer tied to a single location. Simplify your digital world rather, with GeakOS. So I'm kind of excited to try this out. Like I said, going into this blind, I have not done anything with this at all. As far as like getting into this ahead of time, we'll dig through the website here a little bit, and then we'll install it. We're going to put it back on the ME Pro. That's right there. That's the same one that we installed on last week. It's the same one we also had Open Media Vault 8 on prior to that. I do believe that the folks from GeakOS are going to be sending me the more powerful version of that ME Pro. This has got the N95 in it. I guess they're sending me the one with the N150 in it. So we'll see what happens there. Also, my understanding is that Beelink is going to start shipping some of their devices with GeakOS, which I haven't heard any of that from Beelink, but the folks at FIGO were telling me that. So I guess we'll wait and see what happens there. I'll be curious to see. How that goes. See if anybody has any thoughts on that, because some people definitely had some thoughts in the comment section of the FIGO video that I eventually just removed because they were basically in my spam folder in the comment section, and I just didn't think that they were necessary. The amount of whether it's deliberate or inadvertent or not, the racism that I have seen about different operating systems and hardware based on where it originates blows my mind. So anyway, there's my little diatribe for this morning, at least for right now. Let's see. Vaz says, does anyone require some warm weather? I'll send it your way free of charge. Currently 115 degrees Fahrenheit. That sucks, dude. I am nowhere near that right now. It looks like we've got a high of 83 or 84 for today, so I'm pretty okay with that. And then it cools off throughout the rest of the week, and I'm really excited about that. So that'll be really nice to get some cooler weather. Tapers off to the low 70s by Thursday, and then picks back up for next weekend. So yay. But yeah, so that's what's going on there. Definitely don't envy 115 degrees Fahrenheit. That sounds just, I would be in the pool. I wouldn't even be in front of a computer screen right now. I'd be laying in the pool just to avoid that as much as possible. Went to cold showers, back to sweating before I left the bathroom. But I believe that sounds absolutely miserable. So I hope you're able to manage your body temperature as the best you can. We actually bought ice packs recently, like big, like 11 by 14 inch, like big sheets of paper that are, I don't know, like half an inch thick or something, that we're using to help keep us cool when the weather gets out of control. Because this year has been bonkers for where I'm located compared to previous years. And I anticipated that it's just going to keep getting worse because we've been on a bit of a trend. But I guess we're supposed to have monsoon season again this year, which I'm super stoked about. Always enjoy a good monsoon season in Colorado. So anyway, let's jump back over to here, back to the homepage. Jorge Gomez is here. Glad to have you, man. Thanks for stopping by. In fact, thanks to everyone for stopping by today. Here in the United States, it's Father's Day, so I don't expect a huge audience today. So if it is Father's Day and you celebrate, happy Father's Day. If not, happy Sunday. Glad to have you here. I got a tickly hair right in my nose. It's bugging the crap out of me. I'm gonna have to get one of those waxing systems to like wax the inside of my nose, I think. I think I may have to go that route. Anyway, let's jump back over to here. We read this already for GeakOS. Multi-device sync, your data accessible everywhere. So there's a couple of weeks ago in a VM and an update forced it to Chinese. That's interesting. I'll be definitely curious to see what we have happen here. Thanks to Jeremy for being here and chiming in. Monsoons are awesome. Always look forward to them when I lived in Nevada and Arizona. Yeah. Never really had them until I moved to Colorado. And like there's for years, it was like every summer from like 4 o'clock until 6 o'clock, you could almost set your timer to it. We'd get dumped on just for a couple hours and then it was gone and everything went back to normal. We haven't had it in the last couple of years to the same degree. And we're suffering for it a little bit as far as our water tables are concerned. So it's built on Debian. GeakOS is both strong hardware compatibility, simple operation, and seamless multi-device experience for Mac, Windows, Android, iOS, and TV. And then we've got iOS and Android devices and computing devices, all filtering data through GeakOS. So we're definitely excited to give that a look and see how it goes. We've got backup and file management, which we would expect from a NAS solution. AI photo album, this is becoming more and more popular, though I hope this works better than the experience that we had with FIGO OS. I'll be definitely curious to give this a look. Apparently this also has AI facial recognition, location albums, AI scene albums, AI search, timeline view, and large TV screen experience. We got a video hub, so another video media player that we're not going to get into for YouTube, or for reasons of YouTube moderators being stupid. Obviously not all of them, but a good chunk of them seem to be very, very stupid. Yeah, especially the AI part that couldn't identify a car. Yeah, it could find the bikes. It found the handlebars in a picture of me and my wife that just had the handlebars, and it found a bike that way, but couldn't recognize the two pictures of cars that I had. So we'll see. Looks like we've got a music app. Love to see that. Again, not going to get into music for copyright reasons. I definitely don't want to deal with that. We may take a look at the app, but we're not going to run any media through it. It did find the cats. It found 2 cats, and I was stoked that it was able to do that. Let's see, remote access with Geek Link. Access your personal cloud data anytime, anywhere. No space limitations, except for whatever space limitations you have on your device. Seamless access across scenarios, effortless connection, and encrypted direct transfer built on peer-to-peer direct connect technology with end-to-end encryption for worry-free data security. So that all sounds really good. Data sharing for multiple user setups and that sort of thing. Looks like they've got an app store with Docker. So I'll be curious to see how that compares to FIGO OS, since we just looked at that. Some of these are the same, some of these are different. We had an open speed test variety thing. I guess maybe that's the only thing that I'm seeing that is similar anyway. Data security, data protection with RAID 1 and RAID 5 and other modes. I'll be curious to see what other options we have for RAID, whether they've got like RAID Z or they've got ZFS. I'll be curious to look at that. Flexible expansion, file deduplication, real-time monitoring, and more features. Again, looks like we've got licensing here, though I don't have a license for this one, so we're just going to be looking at this under the free account. This does give us 6 accounts versus just 3. Though it doesn't seem that this will limit us on how many drives we can have. The other system did limit us on like 4 or 5 drives, I think. I don't see a restriction here for that. Though I also don't see a lifetime option on this. Let's look at plans real quick. Yeah, just Pro and Plus, but I don't see a lifetime option here. So that's interesting and a little bit of a bummer in my opinion. I would rather see $200 for a lifetime license versus $90 a year. This seems like it could get expensive pretty quickly. So I don't know. I've done we've done more research in this video than I have leading up to this. So weird that the file limit on public sharing is 2 megabytes per second and 5 megabits per second on Pro. Since it's using your storage and internet access, why the speed limitation? Am I understanding it wrong? Nope, that's how I'm reading it. That sucks. I don't know. We'll have to see. I may have to encourage them to change, unless they're running this through their own proxy server, which I wouldn't like anyway. I'd like to be able to add my own domain name and run this on my own reverse proxy. I guess we're gonna have to see what happens. We've got an installation guide. Let's pop that open real quick. I think that's the same thing. They really want you to use Ventoy for this. I'm not going to do that. Basically, what we're going to do for the install here is we're going to install Debian, and then we're going to run this command on it. Again, we're going to install it on, if I can get my finger to go where I want it, right there. We're going to put it on that, on the Beelink ME Pro with the N95 processor and the built-in iGPU device for it. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Is open TinyPilot, because we're going to need TinyPilot for this as well. So I've already downloaded the Debian 13 image for this, and I've already got Balena Etcher up and running for this with Debian 13. I've got my 64 gig USB device, and I'm just going to go ahead and click on Flash. I just wanted to get some of that out of the way as quickly as I could, so that we wouldn't have to deal with it later. So we're going to give this a second to do its thing. Hopefully this should go pretty quickly. Looks like it's doing some stuff. So we'll give this a moment to do what it needs to do. And then hopefully it actually starts here in a second. Why avoid Ventoy? Because I don't want to use it. Because I don't want to set up Ventoy and go through that installation process. Mostly because I've never used it, and I don't want to try to jump into something brand new and feel like an asshole trying to figure it out while all of you guys already know it. That's really what it boils down to, is my ego. If I'm being completely honest, I've never used it, and I don't want to learn it live on camera. So we're just going to install Debian. We'll run the install script, and then we should be good to go. So it looks like this is going pretty quickly. I think it's like a 3.5 or 4 gig ISO, 3.7 gigs for the ISO. So we'll give this a minute to do its thing. Now that it's actually doing its thing, hopefully the verification that it's going to do will go faster than this. I guess while it's doing that, we can come back over to here. We've looked at the homepage. We looked at the features. The pricing is there. The download is there. They've got apps for this. One thing I also noticed on the apps, I guess I did look at this page, is that both for Android and iOS, it doesn't take you to the app stores. It just downloads the appropriate file for your operating system. I guess this one does test flight because you can't sideload with iOS. And then just some FAQs. They've got a TikTok, a YouTube, and a Discord if you want to check those out. Link to GeakOS should be in the live stream description. So this is going. Jason says I've had weird issues with some ISOs on Ventoy Proxmox, particularly. That's interesting. I wouldn't expect that Proxmox would have an issue with it being such a common operating system, but stuff happens. So I figured this just eliminates any possible weirdness. we'll flash this, and then they've got just a one-liner for a curl to run this install.sh file, and then run it, and then hopefully it'll get us into the installation process. So should be pretty straightforward, all things considered. And this is going all right. So Practical IT with Jeremy says, I've used Ventoy over several Proxmox versions with no issues. That's good. And that's the other thing, sometimes installations just go differently for different people, with no reason for the difference. Maybe it's a difference in like in your USB device, or the USB plug itself. There's so many things that could cause a difference. I just figure we'll avoid any kind of thing like that. Is there a Raspberry Pi version of this? I don't think there is for this version. Support. I don't know if there is. Host Ethernet cable, BIOS boot. I don't think that there is an ARM version of this. That said, I could be wrong. I 100% could be wrong about that. It's funny, they talk about Ventoy up here, and then they've got it virtualized right here. You can tell by the QEMU or whatever it's called there. It's funny that they switched on that. Looks like this one also only requires 64 gigs, so that's something. We can configure the swap. So that's all good. Let's see here. It looks like this is done, so that is good. Glad to have that. I'm going to pull that out. Hopefully I don't push the power button. We're going to come over here to Tiny Pilot, like so. And we've got that. Like there. Collins is here. That's awesome, dude. Glad to have you, man. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. We were just kind of looking through GeakOS here. We created our bootable USB drive, which is just Debian 13. And then once we're done with that, we're gonna run this install command right there. But first we have to do some Control deletes to get this to reboot. Hopefully this will reboot for us, and we can get in and boot from the USB device here pretty quickly. It's definitely thinking about doing something there with all that Docker stuff. There it goes. All right. There's our beep. Collins, happy Father's Day to you too as well. Thanks for stopping by and saying that, I suppose. We're gonna, let's do this. Let's boot from Debian first. No. I told it to boot from Debian first. All right, let's try again. I probably screwed something up there. That is how things tend to roll here when I am doing stuff. So. I told it to boot from the 500 gig drive. I'm stupid. That's all. Let's make sure that is there. That's all fine. Hello. No. We're going to boot from the USB this time. There we go. We're going to do a graphical install. Oh, let's see. We're going to do English. We're going to do United States. We're going to use American English. Detect and mount installation media. That's good. Detecting network. That's good. I'm glad this is all going much smoother already than it did last week when we tried to do something, or when we tried to install FIGO. I don't know if that has anything to do with using Balena instead of Rufus this time out of the gate, but oh, it's going to be like that. I don't know which one I'm plugged into. God, I hate that. I don't know which one I'm plugged into, so I'm going to have to plug in another one just to make sure that we have Ethernet on both. Put this right here. Give me just a second, guys, and we'll get back to what we're supposed to be doing here. Oops. All right. Oops. All right, there we go. I'm going to assume that the Realtek is probably going to be the most compatible. So that's the one I'm going to go with. I think that's the one I'm going to go with just for now, and we'll see what happens. Configuring the network. I wonder why do you think it is that the Realtek is more likely to be compatible than the Intel is? In the past, I've had so many issues trying to get the Intel, the i225 or whatever it is. Those drivers are never pre-installed, and I've always wondered why not. It's an Intel chip. Why would the drivers be there? I've never understood that. Host name, oops. Are we doing this again? GeakOS, there we go. Local. Root password. And then continue, and then we need a username, or the full name for the new user, which is that, which is going to be the same there, and my password. Wow. Oh. Man, there we go. All right, continue. We are in Mountain Time. All right, so this is going well. Super stoked about that. I was going to say, though, there we go. So, use the largest continuous free space. No. All right, so I want to use guided. I want to use the entire disk. I don't want to use logical volume management because I've run into issues with that in the past, but that is usually just when dealing with virtual machines in Proxmox, though I've been jaded because I've been burned by that so many times. I think just using the guided use entire disk is probably fine, right? Like I don't necessarily need to use guided use entire disk and set up LVM. Guided use entire disk. That's what I was thinking. Thank you for that, Jason. That's That's where my brain goes every time, because every time I use the LVM, I get screwed later on. So I think I'm just going to forego that. I do want to use the 500 gig drive there. That is the one that we're using for the boot drive in these different installation exploratory live streams that we've been doing. So that's what we're going to do. Man, oh, there it goes. All right. We're going to do all of everything in just a single partition, just going super basic with this. I think all of this will be fine. Like it says that there's a separate var and SRV and swap for servers. But again, I don't necessarily think that I need to go that route for just a basic install for what we're doing here. So I'm just going to click continue. Let's see what this is. That's fine. Sure, looks good to me. Why not? And then hopefully later we can clear the other drives and build our RAID or our ZFS or whatever. Probably be RAID, but we're just going to run with this for right now. Do you want to write changes to the disks? Yes, I do. And continue. Okay, this is going surprisingly well, though we are just installing Debian 13, so I would expect it to go pretty well, all things considered. All right, so now we're actually installing. This is going pretty quick. I'm happy with that. I'm generally surprised with how competent these N95 and N100 and N150 processors are for being low power devices. They usually perform pretty well. So how was everybody else's week? Anything exciting happen? New stuff going on? New stuff in the home lab? New stuff in personal life? Anything anybody want to talk about as far as how their week went? Would love to know what you guys have been up to. See, for the small 6-watt budget, the N100 and N150 are very capable. Collins fell out of the shower and broke the toilet. So there's that. That's did you get it fixed? I hope you. I know you mentioned having to go to the hardware store. I hope you got it fixed, because that would be, pardon the term, but a crap situation otherwise. Bob from Wix says, did a clean install in my home lab on Optiplex, now running Ubuntu server 2604. Holy cow. Do you want to use a network mirror? No, I don't. Ubuntu server 26. Man, I know that there's some of you guys are going to remember further back, but I still remember like Ubuntu 14. I think it was 14, or maybe it was even 12 that I no, that's fine. See, nothing great. My back went out on Wednesday. I've been dealing with a sciatica since. Bro, that sucks. I've had really good luck in those situations with muscle relaxers and heat. Those two things usually help me out quite a bit in those situations. But I hope you feel better soon, man. My neighbor's coming over Tuesday morning to replace it. We have the second bathroom upstairs, so it's not awful, but 6 people in one toilet is not ideal. No, it is not. I thought 3 people with one toilet was bad. 6, that's too many, man. Hope you didn't go with the model that showers you back. I don't know why everybody is so against a good bidet. Sarah Leone says, hey, everybody, we're glad to have you here. Glenn says, just driving my life away, man. It sounds like it. If you're over on the East Coast, that's crazy. Let's see, I don't need a desktop environment. I do want SSH server, standard system utilities. That's fine. It's fine. I don't need any of this other stuff. Man, I keep losing my mouse. Like, I know I can see my mouse, but I'm losing connectivity with it for some reason. Man, I gotta oh, there is it finally doing something again? Man, there's such a huge amount of lag there sometimes. Ron says, I love my bidet, dude. Same. I don't like to poop anywhere if there's not a bidet. I just made a fresh small USB stick. Van says, you know what the fear is that I'll enjoy it and I'll start spending more of my time in the bathroom. You know, I get that. It's not that I necessarily enjoy it, but let me throw it at you this way, right? Here's my rationale. Let's say you're outside. Let's say you're walking through your yard, you trip, you fall, and let's say randomly there's a pile of dog poo in your yard. And let's say your hand lands in it. When you go in the house to clean your hand, are you just going to grab some paper towel and wipe it off? Or are you going to wash it? Are you going to get some water involved and clean your hand properly? Because that's the difference between just using toilet paper and using a bidet. With using toilet paper, you are smearing yourself clean. With a bidet, you are spraying the area clean and then drying yourself afterwards. There is less ick involved. And I'll tell you, the first time you use a bidet, it's a weird feeling, 100%. But you know, when it's really hot outside, like in the summer, it's a great way to get rid of swamp ass also. It really is just an amazing thing all of the time. Though if you got to poo in the middle of the night, it may wake you up more than you want. Yeah, in the 21st century, having a bidet should be mandated by law for hygienic measure. I agree. Once you go bidet, you never go back. I agree with that. Who knew you could explain a bidet the way you did? Dude, it's how I've looked at it for a really long time. We're on our third one. We had somebody who was cleaning our house that broke two of them. Wet toilet paper also works. For me, it's a texture thing during the cleanup process that I don't want to deal with. Bidet reaches parts that others can't. That is also true. 100%. I don't like to poo anywhere that I don't have access to a bidet. Okay, so says installation's complete. Time to boot to your new system. Make sure to remove the installation media and press continue to continue. Don't get me wrong, I know bidets well, super normal to have them in Europe where I am. My house has one since over 40 years ago, just not an automatic one that blows air. Yeah, mine doesn't blow air either. Mine just shoots you with water and does what it needs to do, and then drying up is a separate process. Let's see, we're gonna unplug this. And then rich people issue, not at all. You can get a bidet for like $30 on Amazon. Like it is not a rich people issue at all. They are super, super affordable these days. Nothing wrong with a good butt washer at home, dude wipes on the road. That's fair. Yeah, that is a better option than not at all. You can get flushable wet wipes now. I've heard mixed results as far as flushable wet wipes are concerned. And with my plumbing system, we've got a tree that infiltrates, the roots infiltrate our plumbing, and I don't want to add anything to that. You can't install them when you rent. I rent. It's not a permanent installation. This is the one that we've got. Not that one. It's just a very basic. Yeah, it's this one. This is the one that I've got. And like you just unbolt your toilet seat, you suck. Don't do that. And then this part right here gets kind of sandwiched in between the toilet and the seat. and then there's a water line that goes in between. It takes like 10 minutes to install. It's not permanent, and it will change your life and make your summers a more pleasant experience. In Europe, bidets are like a small toilet. That's true. We don't have that here, and the ones that are like a small toilet have always really confused me, but I've never researched it enough to really know. All right, let's see. What do we have for an IP address? We've got 112 for our IP address. That's what I was looking for. So what I want to do now is do SSH root at 192.168.0.112. Yes. We'll get logged in here. But yeah, like the Tushy brand, they're a temporary install. They take 10 minutes to install. They don't break anything. They don't change anything. They just kind of get sandwiched in. Is it not going to let me log in with root remotely? That's interesting. Let's try DB Tech then. Oops. There we go. Just doesn't let me log in remotely with root, and that's fine. That's a good security practice. So actually really glad that Debian has that by default. So to install GeakOS, now that we have Debian installed, we can, in theory, just run this command. So let's bring this over to here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Oops, all right. So sudo is not recognized. Curl's not recognized. Apt install sudo. Wait. Is it really not going to let me do this? Am I going to have to do it the other way? Is it sudo root? All right. Oh, there it goes. That worked. That's weird. Have to enable root for SSH, right? So now that we're logged in as root, which is good, we're going to do apt install sudo. What? Right, apt update. Okay, so I guess we'll forego that and we'll just do curl. I don't understand. I've never run into this before. Like I am logged in as root. Why am I not getting any key? No, I've got internet. Because I didn't choose the package mirror during install. I didn't realize that was going to cause an issue because I didn't set up the package mirror during install. I didn't realize that that was going to be an issue. So I can't. Okay, so then how do I? You have to put. Like, so I've got internet. That's good. Apt. Why? I'm typing and it's not. You have to put the repository in place. It doesn't know what you're doing. Okay. Cool. So I wish I would have known that earlier. So then what would be the appropriate process to do that? Because I didn't realize that I needed the package mirror. I thought it would just pull from from source instead of needing a mirror. Oops. Debian add package mirror. Okay, so I need to edit this, right? To add package mirror, you need to add its repository URL to here. Copy. Cool, so I've got no repositories. Yay. List. I don't. Well, it should be soon to leave, but I didn't add a mirror to it during the install process because I didn't think that it would be an issue. So in theory, this should get us somewhere. Should be there, Trixie. Yeah, I guess I probably should use Trixie instead of Bookworm, right? And it won't type, and I am losing my mind here. Docker apt update. Okay, well, at least we're getting that. All right, so let's do apt install. Let's see, can we do sudo? There we go. Look, this is getting us somewhere. I mean, I'm happy to change it, but I hit enter. Just waiting. I don't understand why I'm getting so much lag on this. All right. I don't think you're going to be able to share your sources in here because it's going to contain a URL of some sort. Look, I think for right now, I think this will be fine. Because really all I need to be able to do is just run this command. And it was curl and sudo, and neither of those were installed. And now we have both of those. So I should, in theory, be able to run this. So we'll give this a second to do what it's going to do. It pasted them without return to space. All right, well, we're getting somewhere, so that's good. Glad that this is doing something here. I was starting to get worried that we were gonna get stuck because of my dumb brain doing dumb brain things earlier. Yep, it is working. Any specific reason for using Debian instead of Ubuntu? Yeah, one line install for Debian 12.13. No, I because I saw Debian 12 and 13 and didn't read Ubuntu. And Debian's pretty lightweight, so that was also part of my logic, I guess. I could have done that, but like most of my server stuff gets Debian. And then if I need, or sorry, my LXCs very often get Debian, and then my servers often get Ubuntu. But I think I just went Debian because I guess it's lighter weight in my brain, if nothing else. I don't know if there's any actual validity to that. Debian 13 is more recent than Ubuntu 24. That's a good point as well, though it wasn't part of my logic. I saw Debian first and went with Debian. That's ultimately, I think, what it boils down to. But it's working, so that's definitely something. Notice your brain going. Debian is also my go-to. Same in network too. Yeah, I don't know. I just for some reason read Debian, went Debian. If they had put Ubuntu first, I probably would have gone Ubuntu. But that's just because I read the first thing, the first requirement, and then I do that. It's part of the way my brain works with the ADHD is I skim. I look for certain keywords when I'm reading. And whatever the first thing pops into my brain when I'm looking at something, that's what I go with, which I know isn't great, but it's just how my brain works. Yeah, Cake in a Cup says I didn't see Ubuntu option at the start. Yeah, I didn't see it until I went back and when Vaz asked, I didn't even see Ubuntu until that point. Oh, also it says right here ARM is not supported. When somebody asked that earlier. But it's going, and that's definitely better luck than we had trying to get FIGO installed last week for quite a while. So that's good. It's all good. They're both good choices. I agree with that too. Not a fan of some things Ubuntu does, snaps, etc. I haven't actually used Ubuntu for much of anything in quite a while. Like all of my LXCs are all Debian based, so I've always just gone that route for some reason. Mm-hmm. Two. So it looks like it's installing geocoder and upgrade YRPC, Docker, Thumbor, scheduler, license, setting, film web. Interesting. Ubuntu, just a fork of Debian at the end of it. Yeah, I think my brain knew that, but always second guessed it because it's been so long. Downloading module NAS, Terran tool. Lots of modules, 30 modules, I guess. Media. Much longer than last week's OS, yeah. Look, and again, I could have just downloaded the ISO and used Ventoy, and it may have been a different install process. So I think this is just building what that would have ended up being. So I guess we'll see what happens. Happens here. It's going relatively quickly, all things considered. So I don't hate how fast it's going. Now it's starting the installation process, and that's going pretty quickly. There's Docker that it's installing. Yeah, where's the fun if you don't go the bare bone route and convert the installation, right? I always like to do things the hardest way I possibly can, and often it's not intentional. It's just how things usually end up going for me. But this is actually going pretty quickly, so I'm actually pretty stoked about that. Almost there. Glad it's not Gentoo. I don't think I've ever actually used Gentoo. I've heard of it, like I've seen it, but I've never actually used it. Once you get to a certain age, smashing your forehead against the desk takes too long to repair. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't want to smash my head on the desk if I don't have to. Okay, so we're getting doing more updates, it looks like, and setting up the different packages. Okay. All right, let's see. GeakOS check. Okay, so it said that for all of this to load, we would want to do a reboot. So that's what we're going to do. Oops. Really? You drove manual install Arch for 2 years, but never went as deep as Gentoo route. Right? Alexiani says I would rather take a lengthy installation with a little troubleshooting over a slightly faster one where I'm pulling my hair out like the Rufus problems we had last week. Absolutely. So what is the what is the command for Debian reboot? Debian reboot command. Sudo reboot. Do you have to do sudo on this? Oops, damn, sudo reboot. Fine. Requires a sudo. Okay, so that did its thing over there. Let's make sure that it's actually going to boot. Okay, that's good. Come on. Oh, it's doing this again. There it goes. Maybe. Let's make sure. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you can hear it. There's a crow in my backyard that's just screaming about something. So we're going to go to 112. I guess let's see. Nope, it didn't like that. Oops. I know that's really hard to read, and I apologize. Is it on port 9080? Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that. I will say that's... Nope, still didn't like it. So it was Geek OS check. Connection refused. Outstanding. Hey, JD's here. Glad to have you here, man. Would you recommend using a Berry router? I've never heard of it. I don't know. I'm still on 112, right? Like IPA says I'm on 112. Oh, you know what the problem is? I spelled geek wrong. I spelled geek the right way, not the wrong way. And it still didn't load everything. Again, I know it's hard for you to read some of that. The API 6 service failed to load, and the NAS service failed to load. I don't build routers anymore. I use Unify now. Yeah, I'm the same there. All right, so so there's two different features here that didn't load. Let's see. There's the BIOS, Solventoy. Yeah, there's that. Oh yeah, the GLINet stuff's great. In fact, I think I've got a barrel back on my shelf up there somewhere. They're great travel routers. I've never used one for like local stuff. Um, Bandline installation. Uh, 15 minutes, the actual verification after installation is complete. The system will automatically restart once GeakOS interface appears after reboot. The installation is finished. Curl is required. If curl is not pre-installed, then do that. But we've already done this. I wonder if now I can log in as root. Awesome. I have no remote access via command line. That's outstanding. I am so happy about that. I can't imagine why. Look, it probably works. Though I'm not entirely sure why we're having this particular issue. Let's view, go full screen. That's a little easier to read. I guess we'll run the installation command again. Let me do this. But look, this is part of why I like to do these live streams, is so that we can look at it together, and maybe you guys can help me, when I screw something up. So we're going to do curl f ssl https init.geekos.com/install.sh. I'm going to pipe that to sudo sh. What is the current price in the markets, if you know? I genuinely don't know what you're asking. What is the current price in the markets? What, for a barrel? You'd have to Google it. I have no idea. You want to override it? Oh, son of a bitch. I'm going to say no this time. I said no, don't overwrite it. Keyring redo. .gg. I did. Keyring redo. .gpg. Yes, we're going to try this again, and I'm actually able to look over here and see it better. So I liked your explanation of the device in your video. Is this Casa OS? I don't know. I've never actually used this. So I'm hoping that this install goes better than it did last time, because it didn't go well last time. It got all the way through, and then I rebooted like it said, and then it was then two of the services didn't load properly. So it's skipping all of the downloads. Hopefully the installation goes better this time. I have tried Arcane. I made a video about it last year, I think. It wasn't something that I felt like that I'd ever actually implement for myself, but I definitely tried it, and it seemed like a good solution for somebody who wanted to use it. Maybe the Ventoy route would have been quicker. It very well could have been, but again, like this was on their homepage as the installation method. Yeah, I'd also be careful about continuing to use CasaOS since it hasn't received an update in a long time. Like they've switched all of their efforts over to ZimaOS. So I would still be very careful about using CasaOS moving forward. Okay, so now we're getting this. So right here it says that, oh, there it goes. There it goes. Now we can create our admin account. So it just took a couple of installs. We're good. Let's create our admin account. Cool, I agree. Create admin account. Group with same name already exists. Fine. All right, let's see. GeakOS Global Edition is a secure and efficient private cloud storage system that you can deploy on your local hardware, providing reliable data management, AI-powered application support for personal or family use. What it offers: data backup and sync, file sharing and collaboration, AI app and extensions. GeakOS Global Edition is designed for singular multi-user environments with role-based access. User data is isolated for security. To protect your privacy and data, please keep your account credentials safe and update the system regularly. Welcome to share your feedback or suggestions. Great. A newer firmware is available. We are currently on 1.0.0 preview. Yeah, Free Plus Pro, I agree. I'm not 100%, especially since there's no lifetime option. There's just like a yearly option. Yeah, this is a new NAS OS. This is still very, very new. These are release notes. I guess let's click update. Go away. Go. Thank you. New version. So they've added some features, some core apps. I guess we'll go ahead and click on update and update. CasaOS installed on top of Debian is a great way to use it. The main Debian. Yeah, I still, again, like I wouldn't use CasaOS at this point. They're not developing it anymore. Or if they are, it's very, very minimal. It's very infrequent. Like they have gone full hog on ZimaOS. Like they are not doing anything further with CasaOS. So I would very much encourage you to switch to ZimaOS if you're going to continue to use that platform. All right, keep the network stable. Don't disconnect power or shut down. The update takes 3 to 5 minutes. Please wait. So yeah, it downloaded the packages. Why didn't it download the updated version? That's a really good question. I always wonder that when updates happen, and only some of the updates happen. It's like it updates the thing that lets the update inside the newly updated update. I genuinely don't understand why they don't just include the updates for this in the updates that we did a moment ago. It doesn't make sense to me either. For a new project, they should have a one-time purchase option. Who knows if it will survive? I agree. I 100% agree with that. That's what I liked about FIGO, is it was a couple $100, but it was a one-time purchase. And at that point you were just good to go. But this yearly thing that they're doing, I'm not a fan of that. At least I think it's a yearly thing. Yeah. Or they've got a monthly or a yearly thing for Pro or Plus. Yeah, again, it'd be nice if there was a one-off purchase for that. Okay, so if I'm honest, I feel like this to me feels dated. Maybe it's just the wallpaper. Hold on, I gotta close this door. The kid likes to find the squeakiest spot on the trampoline and then just bounce there for 6 hours at a time. So I'm going to change the wallpaper to see if this helps me not feel like this is a very outdated system. Maybe it's just the wallpaper. That's something. Rock Shoes says Happy Father's Day. Well, Happy Father's Day to you as well. Glad to have you here. Messages are loading. Welcome messages. User changes disk alerts. Show logins. All right, that's all that. Why? You've successfully bound the device. Awesome. Great. All right. GeakOS also says Happy Father's Day. Looks just like every Synology clone out there. Yeah, I actually talked about that in the FigoOS video about how they all kind of look the same these days. And it's just, I believe it's just for a low barrier to entry. That's background tasks. I like that that this is over here. I think uptime, this is a weird way to handle uptime. Doing it in 14.7 minutes or 14.8 minutes, or that's kind of weird to me, but that's probably just a me issue. We've got network in and out. We've got storage writes and reads. So let's go to settings. So we've got this. We've got our device name. We've got our firmware version. This should have updated to 0 or 1.0.1. That's what we updated it to. All of this is correct. Storage. Okay, so we've got 5 disks. That is correct. Can we create storage from here? We can. All right, let's see. All right, so we select our NVMe drives. We've got to select a RAID type of linear. I've never heard of linear, but it appears to be the equivalent to RAID 0 effectively. I think for this, I would go with RAID 1 just so that there's some fault tolerance there. I almost said redundancy, but fault tolerance. We're just going to go with RAID 1 on that. We're going to click confirm. Enter admin password. One of the things about Figo that I wasn't a big fan of is anytime you create a folder in the file settings, it would automatically share that folder on the entire network. I think JBOD or linear is just JBOD. That could be. That's a good point. And then there was a different setting on FigoOS to only share certain folders, which I thought was kind of a convoluted way to handle it. Linear is equivalent to RAID 0. Okay. Well, either way, we're going with RAID 1. So it's just kind of a weird thing I had never seen before. So mounted storage, let's see what it gives us here. All right, that's good. Let's create storage here. We're going to do our two drives there. Again, we'll do RAID 1 on this. Requires read and write to one disk. Interesting. Yeah, we're just going to do that. We're going to confirm that. One thing that I wish that this would give me access to do is name my storage. Like when I'm doing like NVMe storage, I like to call that fast storage, and I like to call my other storage storage. But this doesn't actually give me the chance to name my storage, which for me is going to make it harder for me to remember which storage is which. But again, that is probably a me issue. But I do like to name my storage volumes so that I know which one is easy or which one is which for later reference when I'm doing stuff. So now I have to remember that. Now I just have to remember which one is which, and I don't like that. I'm very lazy when it comes to things. I like to name things so I know what it is, with the least amount of barrier to entry for me. All right. So storage 2 is my slow storage. All right. That's sure something. All right, let's come over to here. Nope, nope, nope. All right. So we can create a new folder, we can upload a folder, or we can upload a file. Let's upload a new folder. Let's call it media. Let's also create one, maybe. There it goes. Let's also make one called photos, just because I'm curious about that as well. So this is on 112. So what I want to do is just see. My user is David. All right, so we've got storage 1, we've got storage 2. So photos and media are on storage 1. So this automatically shared them as well. That's interesting. Let's do this. I think somewhere, over here from our last live stream. I don't know why this is being stupid. There it goes. Downloads. Let's bring this out of the way. Let's group by date modified. We're in photos. I'm just going to drag these over here. All right. So why do I have a video in there? That's weird. Oh, that's old. That's fine. But it makes a lot of sense. We'll have some videos in here as well, I suppose. Make sure my volume is turned down. Cool. Oh, definitely. It's taking a second to load the photos. I will say that FIGO loaded photos faster. I have not tried HexOS. I thought about it. I actually reached out to the folks at HexOS when I found out about it and asked if I could be a tester or like somebody to look at it early. And they said that they already had people lined up for that. And I never got an opportunity to test it. Now it's loading fine. That's good. All right. So that's... Hello? What the hell? Yeah, I'm getting an error message over here as well, saying that YouTube is not receiving enough data to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Look, back to normal. Weird. All right. Well, I'm glad it's back to normal. Like it says that I'm sending like 10 megs. So I don't know why it's being like that. That's really strange. Hopefully that quits being an issue. So they rejected free advertisement that would have cost me $100. Yeah, basically. That was kind of how I looked at it as well. So let's come back into settings, storage, disks, network settings, user management. I'm not seeing a way to determine whether or not my shared folders, storage one, both of these are shared. Local share, users, one member. So I don't see an easy way to disable these folders from being shared, which I don't necessarily like. At least with the other setup, I was able to go in to the settings, and there was network settings, network system reset. It's not bound to anything, so I can't imagine that it's actually going anywhere. That's really strange. Let's look at the album over here. Go to add, directories, add folder, storage one, photos, confirm. They are shared by default. Like here is 0.112. Like all of this is shared by default. We'll give this a second, but yeah, like look, this was automatically shared. Like I copied the video or the photos and videos over here through this folder, which is why I was frustrated with that, because I don't feel like these should be shared by default. I feel like there should be a process to manually share, so that I can choose what folders I want to share. In fact, I wonder if I do here folder test share, and then come over to here and reload. Yeah, like I created this over here, and I don't like that at all. Like I'm not a fan of that at all. I should be able to dictate in here what gets shared on the network. So that's super unfortunate as far as I'm concerned. Going to the album gallery. Okay, so let's see here. Can I search for a car? Nope. Bike. Nope. Set that as a wallpaper. We can download it. We can delete it. Details. I thought there was supposed to be like some AI stuff in here. AI scene albums, open settings. Okay, AI people albums. Okay. Great. So we're going to go ahead and install this. The AI install is going to be like a 1.5 gig runtime. Yeah, the permissions aren't great. I agree with that. I'm glad other people agree with me on that. AI image search. We're also going to turn that on. We're going to do that as well. Install started. So it's installing the AI for the people model and the AI embedding model. Once these are both done, and soon to leave, you bring up a valid point. You have to be on Plus for AI. That said, I think you get a 2-month free trial of a Geek AI on this. So hopefully this works, and we're able to do some testing with this 2-month free trial. All right, it says that it's installing, so that's something. Though I really wish it had more information than this. Like, I wish it said downloading and then installing, and then gave us percentages. Even if it was the BS percentages that we know are BS, it would be nice if we could get something so I'd have a better idea of what it's actually doing right now. 2 months isn't much, but it's enough to decide whether or not it's something that you would use. So you're not locked into having to pay for the Pro $9 a month just to find out. At least this is 2 months to decide if you would use it or not. So it's something. It's not great, but based on what I'm seeing here with permissions, or the lack of permission management, I don't know that I could recommend this to someone. If I can't go in and say, don't share this folder, like details doesn't really, nope. There's no option here to disable sharing. Like there is share links that I can create. External link sharing service is not enabled. Please enable it by going to System Settings, Network Services before use. Yeah, at least get a progress bar, right? Give me something to work with on this. Let me minimize this. Because like it's not hardly doing anything with, that's network. CPU is not really doing anything. Network's not doing anything. Storage isn't doing anything. I can't actually like see what these numbers are if I hover over them. I don't like that. So that's super frustrating. Oh, I don't care. I'm unfortunately, I'm just, okay, will you quit? Overall, I'm unfortunately not super impressed with what I've seen so far. The interface feels kind of dated. It gives me like Windows Vista vibes. And I'm not sure if it's like, you know, the partially translucent glass thing they've got going on. I don't know if it's the wallpapers. I wonder if just like a blue wallpaper would make me feel better about this. Add a computer image. Let me try this. Vista vibes. Let me see if maybe this helps me at all. I really like this wallpaper. It helps a little bit. Vista was better. That's funny. Album. Again, it's still not giving me any idea of what's going on. Like I'm seeing that storage is doing something, though if I try to click it, it just lets me drag this around versus actually letting me see what these numbers are. And I'm not a big fan of that. I feel like this has still got a ways to go before it's ready for prime time, you know? I don't like how long this has been installing. For as much storage I/O as we're seeing here, the CPU is finally doing something, it looks like. Okay. So we're going to rebuild the AI people model. Okay. All right. And there's an AI embedding model. So it just took a little while. All right. So we're going to rebuild these indexes. And we're going to see what it does. Have I gone out of focus again? There it goes. All right. So it's the people album has been re-indexed. Gallery. This just seems so half-baked compared to FIGO. I don't necessarily disagree with that. Let's see. Ugreen NAS is even better. I don't doubt that. I've never used Ugreen though. They've reached out to me several times, and I have offered to work with them. And I typed in man and got a NAS, or part of my rack. That's sure something. Bike. Huh. Not enough to keep it installed for the 2 months to create a want for the extra paid features. Yeah. I typed in bike. I got that same NAS picture and some procs. Or these are actually videos for that matter. Are they going to play? I wonder. Yeah. I mean, that's fine, except that I searched for bike. So that's unfortunate. Car. Can it get car right? I wonder. More NAS stuff, more server rack, more Proxmox. Can. Well, yeah, a couple of weird results here. Typed in can, got more stuff from my server rack, and it's only showing me irrelevant videos. It's not showing me photos of any kind, which is strange to me. What I'm going to do, I'm going to come into here. I'm going to go to photos. I'm going to delete the videos. So now there are no more videos in the system. We're going back to here. We're going to go back to here. Are there even 14 photos in there, I wonder? Yeah, there are. So anytime something in here changes, it has to rebuild the entire index. So it would probably work better if you looked up can't, probably. I've heard that GeakOS has gotten better. I'd still run TrueNAS or Proxmox with TrueNAS VM1. So all these softwares have the same Achilles heel. Their AI sucks big time. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the AI searching that I've been seeing here. Let's go back to settings. 1228, that just rebuilt. Okay, let's rebuild the people or the face index. AI image search. All right, let's look up bike. Car. So now, no matter what I search for, it just returns everything. Can. Literally, oh no, there it is. So 2, 4, 5, 10, 14. It just returns all of the pictures, no matter what I search for. Park. Yeah, the search doesn't work. Good that you don't have over 5,000 images, right? Yeah, no, I'm glad that I've just got it. I've got 14 images in here. And no matter what I search for, I just get all 14 images. It doesn't let me identify people in here like FIGO did. Lets me set it as a wallpaper. I can download, I can delete. Super disappointed that that this doesn't work, and I don't really want to spend a ton more time on this like we did last week. If we're getting even worse results this week than we did last week. New cars. Add photos. That one and that one. Add select, or add those. My albums. Manage, no. New. Bike. No, cancel. Add photos. Bike. Technically, there's part of a bike in that one too, but I don't want to do that. Bike. It doesn't seem to support tags. That's what I was trying to do a minute ago. And yeah, like I put these 4 pictures in an album called Bike in hopes that that would work. But like if I come into here and go into info, let me do this. Nope, it doesn't let me tag anything in here either. So I'm not sure what it's doing. Ashton Duncan says, now you're the AI, right? Yeah, I don't see any tagging available in here. I am pretty much done with this, I think. Let's look at the App Center, right? Let's just see what we see in the App Center. They have 12 apps. Does it connection unstable? Outstanding. Love that. So it's got Docker Compose, Manage Tools, Searching, OnlyOffice PDF tool. This should be Sterling PDF if it's based on this icon. This should be Sterling PDF. Vault, which is going to be a password manager probably. File backup, Olama, Geek AI, Geek Music, Web Terminal, Thunder, and Shutdown Timer. And that's it. That is it. That is super unfortunate. Pretty much across the board. That is really unfortunate. Long way to Hong Kong. That's funny. Man, guys, I was hoping for a lot more for this. I genuinely was. Was hoping for a lot more. I was hoping that this would be further developed than it currently is. Because look, these guys reached out to me. They were like, hey, we'd like you to cover this. And I'm sad that this isn't further along than it is. Yeah, wow, shutdown timer. I was hoping for more. And I don't know when we're going to get more out of this. I guess I'll have to let them know that we did a live stream and that the installation could have gone better. It was fine, but it could have gone better. And that there are just things here that make me not super excited right now. Should be priced at $1,000 so nobody buys it. You mean pull a Plex? Who would shut down a NAS? Wait, this costs money. Yeah. Guys, I don't want to talk bad about it, but I have a hard time finding good things about it. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick. I feel like it's got so far to go. Like, why am I still getting so much read and write when it's just sitting here? Like, it's not. The indexing is done. Why is there still so much read and write on the IO? Like, this is terrifying. Like, this looks like a really good way to destroy a hard drive in very quickly. Like, there's nothing on here that should be doing anything. But there's still a lot of read and write going on. Yeah, uptime twice in the same widget. Yeah, once here and once up here. Yeah, I don't. Man, this is actually kind of scary, man. Like, it really, I genuinely hate how much read and write is going on when there's nothing going on in the system. I I'm gonna, like, when we're done here, which is probably gonna be pretty quick, because I've got company coming over here in a little while. Um, I'm gonna shut this down because I don't want it to trash my hard drives. Like, these are already used, and I don't want to trash my hard drives. Like, I didn't worry about this on FIGO. This wasn't an issue. Yeah, the next update, all your files are gone. God, wouldn't that be something? Man, I would certainly hope not, but it's so hard to say. Media library. Oof, man. Done and done, right? No, I'm pretty much with you. I wonder. Guys, I'm done. I am I feel bad, like I genuinely do, but I don't trust it. Yeah, I'll have to look at my logs and see if I see anything. Um, that didn't give me the feel goods, guys. Um, for all of everything that it was doing and not doing, and the just the vibe of it didn't give me good feelings. Um, to, to call it geek is an insult, block the IP, right? I'm gonna have a chat with them about this because they're gonna have to watch the live stream. Um, that was unsettling how that ended up. I'm not happy with how that went. It could have gone a lot better. You need to put on an isolated machine, right? Yeah, you're not wrong. Um, I need to figure out what two ports that's on, and have those designated as isolated ports. Yeah, it could be a good way to hack a YouTuber. It absolutely could be. You're absolutely not wrong. I've had stuff like that happen in the past. Luckily, I caught it in time and didn't have the issue. But yeah, not thrilled about that one, unfortunately. So I guess if you guys want to do me a favor and hit the like button, that would at least give me something to walk away happy with at this point. That would be pretty cool. Was really hoping for more. Was really hoping for a better experience here on this. But you know, you can't win them all. It fell apart very quickly. There was a lot of reading and writing going on for hard drives that shouldn't have been doing anything, man. Just the overall aesthetic gave me the ick. Jago6, thank you. I appreciate that. Might be time to make an isolated VLAN for this kind of stuff. Absolutely. Yeah, man, I am super bummed that didn't go well at all. But like I said, you can't win them all. You got to try some stuff out. Hopefully next week we'll have something different to go over. Something that isn't quite as sketch as this was. But you know, it was worth a shot, and it was a shot that we took, and it is what it is, I guess, is what I'm getting at here. Guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up. Again, thank you all so much for hanging out with me on Sunday, on Father's Day. Really appreciate you. If you haven't already, hit the like button. That'd be great. If you did, thank you. I'm gonna go unwind for a little bit before our company comes over, and then we're grilling steaks for dinner. So that's how my day is gonna go. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and hopefully I'll have a video coming out this week about something, though I don't know what. If you've got ideas, come hit me up in Discord. That'd be super helpful. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this up. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you again here real soon.